Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're going to talk about a really cool tool. It's designed to let an AI chat directly with your data. Your documents, your specific knowledge base, and that tool is called LlamaIndex.
All right, so let's get right into it. Think about this for a second. We all know these big AI models, right? Like ChatGPT. They're incredibly powerful, but they have this massive blind spot. They know nothing about your company's internal docs or your personal research notes or your team's private wiki. It's just not in their training data. So the big question is, how do we bridge that gap?
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the big challenge with getting AI to understand documents. Then, I've got a great analogy to show you where LlamaIndex fits in. We'll peek under the hood to see how it works, and then wrap up with the big one. Should you actually use it?
Okay, so here's the core problem we're trying to solve. You've got this mountain of documents, right? Could be anything. Manuals, research papers, your company's entire wiki. And what you want is to turn an AI into an absolute expert on all of that stuff, so it can answer any question you throw at it. Now, if you were to try and build this from scratch, wow, that's the hard way. I mean, first, you've got to figure out how to load all these different file formats. Then you have to split all that text into just the right size chunks. That's a whole art in itself. After that, you've got to create something called embeddings. You can think of these as like numerical fingerprints that capture the meaning of the text. It's pretty complex. And you're not done. You still have to store all of this in a special kind of database and then build a system to pull out the right pieces of info when someone asks a question. Seriously, this isn't a small job. For a dedicated team, this could easily be months and months of work.
And this is where LlamaIndex just blows my mind. It takes that whole super complex multi-month pipeline and just boils it all down. It handles all those messy steps for you with just a few simple lines of code. What we were just talking about, that potential 6-month engineering project, yeah, LlamaIndex turns that into something you could probably knock out in a weekend. It's a total game changer.
Okay, to really get a feel for where LlamaIndex fits in with all the other AI tools out there, let's use a really simple analogy. Think about furniture.
So you've got a tool like LangChain, which is kind of like an IKEA furniture set. You get all the parts, all the tools, the little instruction booklet. It's super flexible. You can build whatever you want, but you have to do all the building yourself. LlamaIndex, though, that's like buying fully assembled furniture. It's optimized for one specific job. In this case, working with documents. And it works right out of the box. No assembly required.
So what is LlamaIndex really? Well, at its core, it's a data framework that is absolutely laser-focused on one key process. And that process is called Retrieval Augmented Generation. You've probably heard the acronym RAG.
RAG is, well, it's the fundamental technique that makes it possible for an AI to use your private data. You can think of it as the secret sauce. It's the magic that finds the most relevant little snippets from your documents and feeds them to the AI model right before it gives you an answer. And LlamaIndex, it's built from the ground up to make that whole RAG process as simple and powerful as it can possibly be. All right, let's pop the hood and see how this thing actually works. A big part of what makes LlamaIndex so good is what we call an opinionated design. Now, in the software world, that's a good thing. It just means the tool makes smart choices for you. It comes with really sensible defaults for every step of the process, so you don't have to be a machine learning PhD to get expert-level results.
So everything kicks off with getting your data into the system, right? And this is where LlamaIndex really shines. It has this huge library of, get this, over 160 built-in data connectors. What does that mean for you? It means it can pull in and structure your information from pretty much any source you can think of. We're talking PDFs, databases, APIs, Notion workspaces. You name it, it can probably connect to it. And the best part? It often does all of this with just a single line of code. It's amazing. Okay, so once your data is loaded up, LlamaIndex uses 3 core components to work its magic. First, it intelligently organizes everything into what it calls an index. Then, when you ask a question, a retriever goes and fetches the most relevant bits of info. And finally, a query engine takes that info and puts together a final, human-readable answer for you. And what's really cool is that it often gives you citations, so you can see exactly where it got the information from. So, all of this brings us to the most practical question of all, right? There are other tools out there. So when should you actually choose LlamaIndex for your project? And the answer is actually pretty straightforward. LlamaIndex is going to be your go-to tool if you're building an AI app that's all about documents.
a chatbot for your company's wiki or a question answering system for your research papers. It's perfect when you want to get a RAG system up and running fast, and you really value simplicity. On the flip side, you probably wouldn't use it if you're trying to build really complex AI agents that have to do a bunch of different tasks. Or, if your project has nothing to do with documents at all. It's all about using the right tool for the job.
And when you put it side by side with some of the alternatives, the trade-offs become crystal clear. Look, LlamaIndex doubles down on being the absolute easiest tool for RAG and document AI. That's its thing. Now, LangChain, which is probably its main competitor, is the complete opposite. It's a generalist's toolkit. It gives you insane flexibility to build almost any kind of AI application you can dream of, but that power comes with a much steeper learning curve. So at the end of the day, you're really choosing between a specialist and a generalist.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up. What are the key takeaways? First, LlamaIndex is pretty much the easiest framework out there for building RAG systems. It is a specialist, focusing on document AI, and it comes packed with over 160 data connectors and really smart defaults. And finally, it is the perfect choice when what you really care about is simplicity and speed for your document-based AI apps. It's such a powerful idea when you think about it, connecting all of our vast stores of information directly to the reasoning power of modern AI. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. All of our documents, all our notes, our data, they hold this incredible, untapped value. So the real question is, how are you going to unlock it?